Hi everyone, let's continue. Price discrimination. Under monopoly market, there is a one very important concept is price discrimination. So first we will understand what do you mean by price discrimination and at what level price discrimination will be considered. Price discrimination refers to the practice of a seller of selling the same product at different prices to different buyers. So two fundamental conditions are necessary for the price discrimination to become possible. That is, we can see first, price discrimination can occur only if it is not possible to transfer any unit of the product from one market to another. And second condition, what we will talk about, second condition, price discrimination can occur only when it should not be possible for the buyers in the dearer market to transfer themselves into the cheaper market to buy the product or service at the lower price. So price discrimination it is possible only when the person cannot shift from one market to another market. And here is I had already given you example of monopoly market price discrimination. When we are purchasing LPG gas cylinder in our country and commercial gas cylinder you are getting, if you have commercial gas cylinder connection, so you have to pay more. But if you have domestic gas cylinder connection, so you have to pay less. Same is applicable to the electricity connection. If you have taken electricity connection at domestic, so you have to pay only domestic prices. But if you have connection, commercial connection on the name of any organization, name of the any company, so you have to pay per unit more charges as per this commercial connection. So this is the price discrimination. Price discrimination is possible in the following cases. Nature of the commodity. What kind of nature of that particular commodity? How we have to use this particular commodity? Long distance or tariff barriers. There are long distance or tariff barriers, legal sanctions, as well as here is we will talk about legal sanction that should be approved legally, and preference or prejudice of the buyers and ignorance and laziness of buyers. If we let's say buyer they are not aware this in other market, this commodity is you can find it cheaper. So there is no chance of price discrimination. Person they will not purchase from that particular by seller. If person is not aware this thing, that is why price discrimination is possible. Then we come to the degrees of price discrimination. Price discrimination, Professor A.C.P. Wood has distinguished between the following three types of price discrimination. He was a great economist who had given these kind of three categories. Number one is price discrimination of first degree. That also called perfect price discrimination. We can call it a perfect price discrimination. It is said to occur when the monopolist is able to sell each separate unit of the output at a different price. Under this, the seller leaves no consumer surplus to any buyer. It involves maximum possible exploitation of each buyer in the interest of a seller's profit. Means here is monopolist is able to sell each separate unit of the output at a different price. I mean, it's not like that when you are purchasing as a whole from wholesale market. Means when you are purchasing 100 units, so they are charging different price. When you are purchasing more than 100 units, they are charging different price. Right? Where is the slab kind of system? But it's not like that. Price discrimination of the first degree means from each unit you can charge different price. So here is this is that is why we can call it first degree price discrimination. Second category we can talk about price discrimination of the second degree. It occurs when a monopolist is able to charge separate prices for different blocks or quantities of a commodity from buyers. In this way, he takes away a part but not all the consumer surplus from them. Means, suppose you are purchasing 100 units, you are charging higher prices. When you are purchasing more quantity, let's say 150 items, you have to charge less. That means you have to pay less, and that would be cheaper when you are purchasing bulk buying, right? And bulk buying, next next for 50 items you are purchasing, then you have to pay less again after 200 and 300 and all these things, right? So charges would be less. This is the example of monopolist may charge from a buyer a price of rupees 50 per unit for the first 10 units, rupees 40 per unit for the next 10 units, and rupees 30 per unit for additional units of the commodity. This is the way how price discrimination is there. That means, but that is on the blocks or the quantities. Then the third category is price discrimination of the third degree. It is said to occur when the seller divides his buyers into two or more than two submarkets or groups, depending on the price elasticity of demand, and charge a different price in each submarket. So ultimately, a very good example of this such discrimination is found in the practice of a manufacturer who sells his product at a higher price at home and at a lower price abroad. So such kind of sub-markets are existing. The price charge in each sub-market depends upon the output sold in the sub-market and the demand conditions of the sub-market. So price discrimination of the third degree is the most common and usually more practicable. Means sub-market, on the basis of the sub-market, price would vary. If we are selling in the domestic market, we are charging different price, but when we are selling to the international market, so charges are entirely different. So this is known as price discrimination of the third degree. So I hope all these three degrees are clear to you. Last thing I just want to share with you, peak load pricing. So peak load pricing is the pricing strategy that implies price will be set at the highest level during the times when the demand is at the peak. And here is the idea is that pricing higher when the demand is at the peak will balance out the supply and demand. There is no shortage on either end of the spectrum. So take the case of the holiday. If you look through the brochures, you will see that high season prices are often considerably higher than low season prices. Similarly, call charges of the telephone are much higher during the weekdays than the evenings and the weekend. That was the very old one. So other examples of the peak load, that is peak period pricing, are rail, airfare, prices in the cinemas and restaurants. Because I have seen airfare nowadays during the, because Deepavali festival is coming up. So during these holidays, these airfares are on the higher side. But when the season is off, that is these prices are very less. So, and as well as same thing you can see, I mean, when the, like, if I will take example of Barbecue Nation, when those are the weekends, and these are the timings when the prices are very high. But when the, like, this one is not the peak hours, or during the, those are the days when the less rush is going there. So prices are less. So some these kind of prices we can see, and such kind of pricing we can call it peak load pricing. And other kind of pricing also I will discuss in the next coming up videos. But I'm sure price discrimination concept will be clear to you. I hope this video you will like it, and you will watch it, you will share it. Thank you. Keep watching. Stay tuned.